The Cinderella-inspired horror movie The Ugly Stepsister, Den Stygge Stesteren, officially sets its 2025 release date. The film, written and directed by Emily Blichfeld, is a dark and twisted take on the fairy tale, following Elvira, Lee Myron, a young woman desperate to earn the prince's affection. In the 19th-century kingdom where beauty is paramount, Elvira undergoes intense surgery to compete against the enchanting Agnes, Thea Sophie Lochnays. Featuring grotesque body horror, decomposing corpses, and a satirical critique of the beauty industry, the Norwegian-language film is reminiscent of other notable boundary-pushing horror films like The Substance. According to Fangoria, The Ugly Stepsister has received an official release date of April 18, when it will hit theaters nationwide via IFC Films and Shudder. The indie film first made headlines after its premiere at Sundance earlier this year, where its unrelenting gore, from someone eating a live tapeworm to the primitive surgery of new eyelashes, led to an audience member vomiting in the aisle. What this means for The Ugly Stepsister. The film can continue to shock audiences across America. A doctor about to operate on Lee Myron's Elvira in The Ugly Stepsister. The visceral reaction to The Ugly Stepsister's Sundance screening will surely work in the film's favor, much like it did for previous horror hits. Viral reports of fainting, walkouts, and vomiting have historically helped propel certain indie horrors into a must-see. Julia Ducournau's Titane, The Blair Witch Project, and the Terrifier franchise all benefited from word-of-mouth buzz about their intense effects on audiences. Most recently, Terrifier 3 became an unexpected success, earning $90 million on a $2 million budget after reports of several walkouts at its first official screening in the UK. Shudder and IFC Films have acquired the North American distribution rights to The Ugly Stepsister, meaning its theatrical release will likely be limited. Both studios often prioritize digital releases over a greater mainstream rollout, which makes sense for an extreme body horror film that will only appeal to a niche audience. Nonetheless, its availability on streaming can make it more widely available alongside its theatrical run and ultimately boost its cult appeal. After its vomit-inducing premiere, The Ugly Stepsister has at least secured its place as one of the most talked-about horror films of 2025. Our take on The Ugly Stepsister's release. From niche shocker to must-see horror. An actress in The Ugly Stepsister staring at the camera while wearing a harness over her nose. This particular fairy tale isn't for the faint of heart. Notably, The Ugly Stepsister is part of a long tradition of Norwegian horror that leads classic horror tropes into a fresh and shocking direction. Now Blichfeld's twisted Cinderella story, closer to the harsh reality of the Grimm brothers' tale than Disney's 1950 adaptation, looks poised to continue that legacy. With its unflinching gaze, stomach-churning body horror, and its substance-level commentary on beauty standards, The Ugly Stepsister will definitely be on the top of my watch list when it hits theaters this spring.